Did anyone see that viral campaign that they did for the release of Carrie where they had some fake telekinetic freaking out in a coffee shop? Am I the only one who, if this happened in real life, would actually just go up to the girl, try to calm her down, and befriend her? So I'm alone on that one. Well, we are talking about a grown man who covered himself in blood for a sight gag. Oh, someone in my nose. Oh. You know how they say that we live in a postmodern world or a post-9/11 world? Well, this is a post-heroes world. Why do I bring this up? Other than to point out how truly brainless NBC's decision-making is. Because when you're talking about a movie with a killer telekinetic, buckle up, because there's going to be a few Siler references. But we're not just talking about a teenage telekinetic here. We are talking about the astounding and unfortunate unoriginality of horror filmmakers in the 21st century. I'll spare you my usual "only cabin in the woods is original" speech and just pose a very important question that filmmakers should have asked in the first place. Why do you want to retell this story? I'm all for sharing classics with a new generation of moviegoers, but you can't just retell the story. If you want to remake these films for a new generation, then you have to actually make the story fit that generation. Countless remakes have only been made seemingly for one reason, and that's to profit on the name of the original. So when Kimberly Peirce, who has brought us a couple solid stories, wanted to remake Carrie, I was still skeptical. Especially considering that even creative minds like Rob Zombie can only do so much with remakes. For the first time with these remakes, well, Carrie has a fairly A-list cast with Judy Greer, Oscar-nominated Julianne Moore, and of course, Chloe Grace Moretz in the title role. But having recognizable actors, even in just 2 or 3 roles, can create some issues as well. For instance, with Moretz playing Carrie, the supposed ugly duckling, I believe that about as much as I believed Rachel Lee Cook was considered ugly in She's All That. Also, seeing Moretz grow up on screen and knowing that she's only 16, I had a tough time believing she's supposed to be a high school senior. Especially when her co-actors and fellow high schoolers are clearly in their 20s. I can't stand seeing this in movies. There's even one part where Chris, the mega bitch that goes and bullies Carrie, says to her teacher, "You wouldn't know my boyfriend. He doesn't go to this school." I think she does know him when they went to college together. Now with Moretz, she really brought some depth to the character. You were able to really feel her pain and really understand what torture she was going through, both at home and at school. This was really where one of the only updates or modernizations in the film came out, and that was the fact that the bullying in the movie was more cyberbullying. The film also showed an unfortunate reality, and that's the fact that even teachers are guilty of bullying students. That includes even Judy Greer's character, Ms. Desjardins, who, while her heart is in the right place, abuses her power. The teachers in this movie were awful, physically abusive. One of them was basically a pedophile. But the biggest issue I had was not from the teachers, it was how the students or the kids were portrayed. In my 5+ years of teaching in the public system, I have noticed that there are some real stereotypes when it comes to bullying. Girls like Chris, the main bully in the film, unfortunately really do exist, but I still have faith in most teenagers. And that's coming from a pretty sarcastic teacher. Watching this movie, I actually got upset because I finally had enough of seeing every single teenager portrayed as rude, petty, and stupid. They're not all like that. I get it. For the sake of the movie, everybody in Carrie's class had to laugh at her, but Hollywood, enough with the stereotypes. One of the stereotypes I really did enjoy was the performance of Julianne Moore as the abusive mother and religious zealot, Mrs. White.
Mr. White.
Pinkman? Of course, I call her a stereotype because being a red-headed Jesus freak, there's gotta be a joke in there somewhere. What's no joke is you can really see the relationship between she and Moretz. The love-hate daughter-mother relationship was absolutely pure in this film. And you can see a truly creepy and fleshed out performance in Julianne Moore's character. And not just because she's religious or a redhead. She truly steals the show and is arguably the true villain of the piece. So, Julianne Moore, for the second time in 3 movies, is this episode's for the win. And by the way, Mrs. White.
Mr. White.
I know you were confused as to the father of Carrie, but look no further. Say hello to the baby daddy. But like I said, we live in a post-Siler era. And even compared to network television, the telekinetic kill fest was tame. The entire story of Carrie builds up to that climax, and when we finally got there, I was disappointed. It wasn't creative, it wasn't gory, it was just a reflection of the rest of the film. I found myself looking for something new, something that would make the remake worthwhile. Instead, I just felt like the pig they slaughtered for the blood, drained and empty. In the end, it was just another remake that I didn't understand. It didn't bring anything new, so why did they retell the story? So, in the end, Carrie, no pun intended, is a burn it. I had heard that before making this movie, Peirce actually went to De Palma to get his blessing. Maybe she should have gone to Gus Van Sant for a warning. Poll question, who is your favorite cinematic telekinetic character? As always, leave your answers in the comment section below. And until next time, school's out.